All right. Welcome to my first ever podcast where I talk about my journey of making it. My name is Kyler Miles, and I am a digital marketer, a content creator, and now a podcast host. But above all, I am a passionate man that is dedicated to making my dreams come true. And if you're anything like me, you had a dream of being an actor, singer, dancer, an athlete, but you never took that jump, never took that leap of faith to making those dreams come true. And I was one of them. Throughout my life, I've always had a knack and a real interest in acting. I love to perform. I was a dancer for a long time. I love to be on stage. The energy and what you got out of it was such an amazing rush, amazing feeling. But I was scared because I knew how competitive it was. And a lot of people in my life told me to go to school and do the practical route. And although I appreciate and love school for what it taught me, it wasn't my passion. It wasn't what I really wanted to do. And I took a safe route. I went into sales. And although I learned amazing skill about communication, relationships, about actually staying organized and on top of the things, because things can go chaotic, right? And how to be a manager, manage a territory, manage people's relationships. It was an incredible experience, but in the end, I wasn't that successful because I didn't love it. I liked it. I liked certain aspects of it, but I didn't love it. And what I learned from that, and I look back at myself, I realized the aspects I love went back to my art, went back to the core of who I was, and that my family's, on one side, my family is very artistic, coming from a family of actors and directors and musicians and dancers and also football stars. And those are all performers. Those are all people that are out there on stage with a big audience, with a big impact. And that was what I wanted to do. That I wanted to be in front of people because I believe that I have a message to share. I have an experience and a vibe that really I can get along with so many people, and I can also influence them to have a richer and happier life because I've had the amazing opportunity to travel this world, travel across the world. I shouldn't say I haven't been everywhere, but travel across the world and see some of the poorest countries and come from death and come from extreme poverty and starvation and lack of education to such a rich community and a rich culture and society like Canada. I'm coming to you right now from Montreal, but I grew up in Vancouver. And if you know anything about Vancouver, it's a very expensive city to live in. I came from a very, and I'm proud that I came from a family that worked hard to provide me with a roof over my head and education and an opportunity for me to go to school. And not everyone has that opportunity, and so I'm very appreciative of what I have. But taking a step back, I don't want to make this all about Kyler Miles. What I want to do is I want to share my experiences, and hopefully those experiences might be able to bring an impact in your life or a new perspective onto how you can live your life better, how you can make it, how you can actually take that leap of faith into what you want to do with your life. We got one shot at this life, one shot at being Kyler Miles, one shot at being a Timothy, a Sarah, a Tanya, a Gleb. These are all people I know. You got one shot at being this life, and how you make a mark and how you live it. It really, really hits home with me that so many people work their 9-to-5 job, including myself. I got bills to pay. I got a family. I'm a stepfather now. So don't trust me. I know the feeling, but there is time for you to live the life you want to live. There is time for you to take that leap of faith, to put a little context on what I'm saying is I'm 26 years old. And I found the woman of my dreams, my future wife to be, almost 2 years ago. But we were on opposite ends of the country. I was in the west coast of Vancouver. She was in Montreal, Canada, which I'm in right now. Spoiler alert. But I had an opportunity to come here, an opportunity to move, to leave all my family, my friends, and some people really didn't understand why. And for me, it was more than just because I loved this woman and I was a big part of it, but also there is no other greater time in my life than in my 20s to take a risk, to go and immerse myself in a new culture, new language, new way of living than now when I don't have responsibilities, like a mortgage, like a big family, like all the things that really prevent you from taking those risks. So I took that leap of faith and I came here, I moved here to see if this could be a real relationship, a real sustainable living in life. And so far it's working out amazing. I've had some bumps in the road like everybody, but this risk brought me into a 9 to 5 job that I love. I don't mean that I just like, I mean I love. I get to create content every single day. And the minute that I picked up a camera, the minute that I started making videos, I found my passion, I found my art, and I really took that leap of faith into doing something completely different, coming from sales to now flip side, a marketing content creation piece is like, where does that, I know marketing sales, kind of go together, but it was such a big change. And so again, coming back to making it, I took that risk. I took that leap of faith to follow my heart, follow my passion. What am I interested in? What can I do night and day and stay up until 5 in the morning and still be happy and still be passionate and driven to do it? And that was this. That was this life of being a creative. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's the kind of risk I mean. So if you're the type of person that is feeling stuck, that is feeling like you're doing something that you don't love, you're doing something for the money or for the, what the money gives you, the fast car, the nice apartment, the cool watches, and those are all things I love. I'm a big fan of watches. I'm a big fan of clothes. I love to look good because it makes me feel good, but there's always a balance. There's always something that you don't have to get that extra shirt if that means having that job that you don't love every day. I don't get to wear as many clothes as I want to because I took this job, but I get to have a way better 8 to 9 to 10 hour day doing something I love versus having that extra shirt or that extra watch or those extra shoes that they don't do anything other than, the shoes I have is the same shoes that you have. They get me to where I want to go, but you have a certain status. And to me, that's just silly. To me, it's like, why does that matter? Why does that matter that I wear that I wear that specific brand that makes me feel a certain status or makes me feel a certain way? And I personally, and this is just my opinion, prioritize that 9 to 5 job, that 9 to 5 experience that makes me happy. So again, those are some of the contexts I'm talking about. Those are some of the things that I mean. If you are not having that, if you're not feeling good about your job, and you want to take that leap into being an athlete or to being a singer and dancer, it's not too late. Honestly, people around my age, especially, think that 30 is this age, which is not that far away from me. 30 is this age where all of a sudden you have to be successful. That is the cutoff. Like if I'm not, if I haven't made it at 30, like what's the point? We're going to live 70 more years after 30. What do you mean? You're just getting started. You're just getting started. So this might seem like a real rant, and I haven't planned this podcast out. I just wanted to put this out there into the world because I think that people are not they're not doing, they're pondering and planning and it's good to plan, don't get me wrong. It's good to have a strategy and overall, macro idea of what you want to do, a goal in mind, and having steps and actually making moves towards that goal. But so many people talk about how, oh, I'm starting my podcast or I'm starting my YouTube channel, and today I just decided I bought this mic, I have this camera, turn it on, see what happens. And the worst thing is that I don't post it. The worst thing is I cut it up to make it seem a little better. What you'll see here in front of the camera is not going to be perfect. It will be the perfect version of what I actually spoke, but what you don't see is me hiccuping or burping or stumbling on words. And that's because you can edit it. You can make it more, polished. And so people are not doing enough and actually doing the right things to make their dreams come true. And that's my whole point of this rant, is that you need to take risks. You need to be able to take that leap of faith and try to make your dreams come true. If you don't take that leap of faith, take that risk, you'll never know and you'll live with regret. So that's risk. That's number one. Number two, don't think about it too much. Don't overthink it. That's the biggest thing that I've learned about being a content creator, is that sometimes I overthink about it. There's so much metrics and so many mathematical ROI on okay, if I post this one video, how many followers am I gonna get from that one video? How many this, how many that? Like it doesn't matter. Like, obviously there is a reason why it matters, because if you want to make a living, you need to have a following and all that jazz. But when I mean that it doesn't matter, I mean that if you focus too much on it, you're never going to make. I had this challenge just last month, a 30-day creative challenge, okay? And the goal was to create a video every single day, every day of October, okay? 31 days. I started launched on the 2nd, so 30 days. And I did it was amazing. I was creating every day. I was loving it. It was tiring, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I got really sick. I got really sick around day 17, day 18, and I just stopped. I actually failed this challenge. I didn't pass. But the funny thing was, I did this challenge because I wanted to, one, challenge myself and being a creative and see if I could do this. And a lot of the people that I see on YouTube that are being successful were posting daily or posting at least every other day. And not all their videos were getting, millions of views, but they were so consistent at bringing value. And so I want to do that. I want to see if I can actually get out of my mindset of overthinking and get my mindset of doing. And I gotta say, out of the 17, 18 videos I posted, my average views were 100, not that many, maybe less, and some were like 10, some were like 50. But the funny thing is that I've gotten more work, more people reach out to me, more brands, more artists reach out to me from doing those daily videos, because they see my skill set. They see what I'm doing is what I love and I'm passionate. And that has been a greater ROI for me, even though the views and the subscribers are not there. So it's an amazing experience, because people have legit asked me, yo, why are you doing this? Like, why are you making a video every day? Like, people, don't you feel like people are going to be like sick of it? You're going to lose your following. And I think that's ridiculous. And if you honestly don't like my videos, you don't have to watch it. Like, I'm not going to make you watch my videos. If someone gets annoyed at me, then they can unfollow me, and that's okay. They have the right to follow who they want to follow. If I'm annoying to them, they shouldn't follow me, because I'm doing what I want to do so that I can make it. And that's my whole point. Taking risks, coming to Montreal, moving here, learning a new language, doing a completely new profession, a new job, a new experience, new relationships, new everything. Everything is new. I'm a stepfather now. My girlfriend has a 10-year-old daughter. That's an amazing flip side to where I was living, to my bachelor life of living, single and doing what I want, whenever I want, coming home when I want, having the place messy if I want, to now making lunches, taking her to school, taking her to football practice, thinking about doing homework with her. Like there's so many different changes in my life. Now the rants, you'll see again, those a lot. Moving back, risks, right? Moving to Montreal and actually taking that leap of faith to do what you want to do, but to stop overthinking, to just just do it and see what happens. And the worst thing is you don't post, you don't make the team. There's no musician out there that I know of that made it in one shot. You know, even some of the most famous people. Some people got lucky. I will. There are reasons, and there are people and famous people that hit the lotto in the sense that the one video they posted went viral, and they became the sensation. But though that's a million to one. So for the rest of us, other than that one person, you have to work hard. You have to hit those gigs that suck in the bowling alleys that no one's watching to make those bigger gigs in the future. You have to put in the hours and the work. You know, most of the people on YouTube that I've been studying were at least made 100 or if not 200 videos before they saw any type of real following. So with that mindset in mind, I have to make 100 or 200 videos before I can even think about monetizing or making a living off this. For right now, this is my side hustle. I'm working towards this on a Saturday. I'm working on a Saturday to work on my life and my passion and my dream. So that is what this podcast is about. It's about my journey of making it. And if I can put some passion and fire under your ass to get out of bed on a Saturday and go tackle what you want to do to make your life the best life you can live, then then I've succeeded in what my goal is for this podcast. And what you're going to see more of is me talking about my creative process, my ups and downs of what it's like to be a creative, how to be a creative. And I'm not the most successful person. I just started my journey, so I'm not going to be able to give you the top 10 tips for gaining a following on YouTube because I'm working on that following. I'm learning those right now. But if you want to listen or watch someone going through the process of making it, that's what this is all about. That you'll see what I am trying to do and what my goal is and having a good time doing it, of making it. Because honestly, girls and guys, that is the only way to do it. That is the only way to do it, is to put that video game or those Netflix aside for, you watch one less show a week to work on your dream and to do what you love. And I gotta say, since doing that, it has made my life so much more fulfilling and happiness. And it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's gonna be falls. There's gonna be fails. I've gone out shooting and ended up, I went back in the editing room and found out, I was in the totally wrong settings the whole day. And I feel like all that work was just out the window. And I question if I should even do photography, videography. But now I know when I get back out there what not to do. And I'm going to make 1,000, if not 5,000 mistakes. And at the end of this, I'm going to know what is the best way to make it. So if you're listening right now, do me a favor, close this video or podcast, however you're watching or listening to this, and figure out how or what you want to do, what risks you are able to take. Obviously, if you have a son or daughter, you can't drop everything. You have to provide. There's certain parameters you have to limit yourself with. But if you're, in your 20s and you don't have those responsibilities, what the hell, man? You can always get that job back at whatever, at Cineplex or Starbucks. Like, it's not going to go anywhere if you quit. If you're going to school, that's awesome. Like, I know the school life, it's very tough to fit in, let alone a social life, let alone this. But there's people out there doing it. You understand that, right? There's people out there doing it. You can sleep one less hour, so you can focus on creating content or practicing on your guitar, practicing your singing. Watch one Netflix, like, honestly, taking out 1 or 2 watching time of me, watching Netflix, I've gained 2 or 3 hours like every day. I was in that routine, like, oh, okay, got home, like, let's watch a show as we're, cooking dinner or whatever. Or after dinner, we watch a show. It's an hour or two, you watch a couple episodes. Who doesn't do that, right? Or a scary movie on the weekends at night when it's cold outside, like right now. But if you just think about, man, if I use that couple hours a week, or a day to work on content, to work on practicing, to work on my next gig, to practice that pitch, that throw, whatever it might be, you're going to be way better. You need those 10. What was it? I think it's 10,000 hours to be an expert or something like that. As a rule of thumb, it's not exact for every profession, but when I was in sales, they said you need 10,000 hours to be an expert in what you're learning. So every hour that you're putting towards it, you're becoming more of an expert. You're becoming more of a master of that craft. So this is my first podcast. When I'm at my 10,000th podcast, and then I'm sure I can give you some of those best practices and tips. But until then, this podcast is going to be all about making it. I'm going to talk about relationships. I'm going to talk about life, talk about business, talk about creativity, whatever it might be, whatever I can bring to you guys. I'm going to do my best to do that. So thank you for listening. This has been an awesome experience. This was totally not planned today. I just turned on the camera and started talking, and I hope you guys find this valuable. And if not, let me know. Give me some feedback, because guess what? I'm learning as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Kyler Miles, and this is the podcast where I talk about my journey of making it. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys soon.